Let's get into game number 1 of this best of 5 PvP between two of the strongest Protoss players in Europe. In the upper left-hand corner, we have what some may consider the strongest Protoss player in the world. It is MaxPax, representing Sizestorm Gaming, the Danish prince. His opponent in the lower right-hand corner, you know, maybe not the best Protoss player in Europe, but I would say the most renowned, the current Protoss player that maybe has the longest career, the most accomplishments. He's been around a long time. He's old is what I'm saying, and I'm allowed to say that because I'm older than him. It's our Polish Protoss player for Team Liquid, Mana. And Mana is one of those players that, one of my favorite things about him is I feel like he catches people by surprise. He's hard to predict a lot of times. Can be a little wild, a little out there. Now, that being said, MaxPax is the kind of person who doesn't often get caught by surprise. And likes to, well, be a bit aggressive sometimes. As we have shield batteries going down here, there's already a Zealot out for Mana. As he saw this one coming with that first pylon going down. So he's going to start forcing cancels on these shield batteries. The less MaxPax can get up, the better. And Mana's actually going to full wall this in. So MaxPax's Zealot is going to be stuck here trying to chew through a gateway for 100 years. It is possibly not going to be able to get in. And now we have MaxPax. Looks like he's going to be able to get up 2 of these shield batteries, although this one's actually getting hit as well. I think this is a really nice hold for Mana here. I've seen this go very, very well for MaxPax. I've seen it be just kind of very hectic, and even if the other player holds, it can still be pretty rough. This, though, I mean, this is looking very straightforward. That last shield battery is going to go down. Probe's going to get hit. I mean, these Adepts shouldn't really ever get through here. I don't think they can crack this gateway. Mana's got a shield battery that can be used to heal that gateway up. The Stalkers, though, actually can't hit these Adepts, is what we're learning. So Mana's just going to back up. He knows that gateway is going to fall. He's overcharging it, trying to buy as much time as possible. The shield battery is now getting hit by the Adepts. Those Stalkers... So the Stalkers are waiting for the gateway to die and the Adepts to shade in, I guess? I think they were waiting for an Oracle. We see it to Twilight Counts, but Mana is not sure what he's up against, so he was probably expecting the Oracle to come in. As it has not. He is, going to be able to push these Adepts away. The gateway stays alive. The shield battery goes down, but all in all, this is a very nice hold for Mana. Considering what was lost for MaxPax. And he's going to lose this pylon as well. Mana is going to have to get through his gateway. This has become a very weird wall. But since he killed one of the Adepts, it's not quite as... You don't really have to worry about it anymore. Obviously, Adepts can still get in. That can still be a problem. Oh, these Stalkers want to go find this Adept. But MaxPax is not done. That was part 1 of the plan. And it kind of failed. I'll be honest. That was kind of a fail. And MaxPax is going to go for the follow-up. Just Blink Stalker all in, it looks like. His Blink is about to finish. Mana's only just started, so Mana is very far behind in that regard. He doesn't have any shield batteries here. He's going to drop a Robo, but he doesn't really know what he's up against. He hasn't really scouted much. He knows there's a Nexus, but that is about it. And MaxPax is going to start hitting very hard very soon with a lot of Blink Stalkers. I think if there was still a shield battery here, this would be okay for Mana, but look, he's expecting this to be a macro game, and that is just not going to be the case here. Fortunately, he's going to find out soon enough. Maybe he can get some defense down. I mean, having the Robo on the way is really nice. This pylon, though, is feeling pretty vulnerable. Oh, but Mana, he scouts the proxy gateway, and he sees all the Stalkers. He'll know they'll have Blink very soon, but The problem here for MaxPax is he doesn't have a ton of high ground vision. Okay, there's the 2 Adepts that are going to give him high ground vision. Oh, and he's kind of has to chase those Adepts because that's a scary amount of potential damage that can be done here. And it's not like MaxPax is doing this on one base. MaxPax is taking a third behind this. So he doesn't have to commit super hard to this aggression. He just can try to take some nice trades here. He gets a few probe kills. Stalkers are struggling here on Mana's side without Blink against the Blink Stalkers of MaxPax. Pylon does get taken down. However, there's a backup Pylon for that Robo, so it looks like an Immortal will pop, and I think Mana will be just fine. His Blink is almost done as well. So if he can keep a handful of these Stalkers alive, keep that Robo powered so the Immortal can come out, now I think he's okay. But MaxPax is using this as a way to get further ahead. Even though he's not doing, you know, a ton of damage over here, he's taking nice little trades against the, what were non-Blink Stalkers of Mana, and just containing Mana, right? Mana can't take that third. He lost a Gateway here, so not a lot of production for Mana. He's going to drop down a bunch more. Just puts down 6 more Gateways. You killed 1, I'm putting down 6. And I feel like Mana's plan here has to be to counterattack off the back of this. As this Blink Stalker's come in one more time. Get another Stalker. The Adepts back in the main base getting 3 more probe kills. Mana has just not been able to catch a break. And I think, yeah, with all these Gateways going down, a bunch of Pylons getting dropped here, he's just going to go for the counter all in. There's the Warp Prism on the way. Now with the 3 Immortals, those Stalkers can't sit around too much longer. MaxPax is looking to see if there is some sort of hidden base. Maybe a cheeky corner base was taken. That is something that Mana would do. Like I said, he does sometimes catch his opponents off guard with stuff like that. Mana's absolutely the person who, in a big, important match, will take a ninja base and just get away with it for 5 minutes and make the game way more interesting than it could have been otherwise. But MaxPax, he's doing his due diligence, and now he sees, okay, you don't have any bases, you're walking across the map, this has to just be an all-in, and now MaxPax just trying to pick off whatever units he can. He grabs a Sentry, he's going to grab a Stalker as well, triggers the Immortal Shields, grabs another Sentry. This is really, really nice for MaxPax. Mana is just sending it all straight on forward. MaxPax has a few Zealots, and one of his own Immortals. He's going to turn on the Super Shield Battery, but that's going to get blunked on immediately. That means Mana doesn't have the ability to blink backwards. So the Stalkers can't take quite as efficient of a trade. MaxPax's Immortal staying alive here for a little while. Mana going to blink on top of it, though. He's sending this forward. This is looking okay for Mana. His Prism is staying very safe here. Some Zealots on the backside trying to deal with this Immortal. Probe's getting pulled off the line here for MaxPax, as it looks like he might be able to push this back, and push it back he does. GG gets called. MaxPax holds the counter all in. Got a little dicey there. He had to pull the probes, but killing that army was absolutely the game-winning move. MaxPax takes game number 1. Now we're going to hop into game number 2. Because why not? I don't know what map we're on, but we're going to find out. Ooh, Nightshade. I forgot this was in the pool. This is the one I forget is in the map pool. Is Nightshade. Because this one's not nearly as in my brain as some of the other old maps that are in there. But, ooh, this is a good one. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Nightshade, we have the red Protoss player for Psystorm up 1-0, MaxPax. I would say maybe just the favorite to win this tournament, if I'm honest. His opponent in the upper left-hand corner for Team Liquid, it is Mana. We do also have indie casting these games in Polish, if you're interested in some Polish casting, if my English isn't doing it for you. Or my American, I should say. Because if I was speaking English, I'd be talking like this. I'd be saying, hey, MaxPax, when are you going to put down your cybercore? That's what English people sound like, right? Is that a passable English accent? But yeah, Nightshade, okay. Trying to think about it. Trying to think about what this map was. I mean, it looks pretty normal, pretty standard. Kind of a big map. This feels like a very large map. What map pool was this in? I feel like this wasn't that long ago, but maybe it was. I don't know. Interesting for PvP to have such a big map. Oh, MaxPack's building a Zealot here. I guess this is the, I'm going to need to kill the pylon you put down, Zealot. Yeah, I got to work on my English accent. The problem is I've done Australian accents so much in the recent years that I have kind of forgotten. Not really forgotten, but I start off English and then I immediately go into Australian. Mana's getting very aggressive here. His probe did go down. The Adept, though, is going to scout. Oh, my God. The Adept's going to get this probe. Oh, that's brutal. The Adept's going to go down, but it's going to scout these Stalkers. It scouts the probe trying to come over here to build, I assume, a gateway at this pylon. And MaxPax is expanding. But losing that Adept makes this a little bit harder until that shield battery is done. Oracle is going to come out and help out against these Stalkers. Do the Stalkers have friends? Looks like one Stalker is going to go down. But the Oracle falls. That's a big deal. This Stalker is going to get back to the shield battery, but on a very low amount of hit points. Which means the shield battery already just used up half of its energy to heal that Stalker back to full. This shield battery is suddenly almost out of juice. We see MaxPax immediately putting down 2 more because he recognizes that. Mana with the slow warp-ins here it's very unfortunate, but losing that probe means that he couldn't put down a gateway proxy. Void Ray is out for MaxPax, and with the Nexus finishing and a second shield battery finishing, this is feeling very good for him. MaxPax, this is what he does best. He gets attacked like this all the time, and he's very good at holding, but Mana gonna dive forward. No overcharge on that shield battery, so the Void Ray falls. And now it's just a Stalker. Oh my God, Mana just goes through. He's just like, I'm out of here. And he's just going to dive into the main base. A Void Ray does pop. Probe's going to get pulled here to bully these Stalkers back so they can't jump on the Void Ray. They're going to jump on it anyways, though. With no shield battery in the main base, it goes down. However, one of the Stalkers gets surrounded, but it doesn't matter. Mana closes it out. He actually breaks MaxPax. I haven't seen that happen in genuinely years. It has been years since I've seen MaxPax broken in such a fashion. Mana doing what I thought was impossible. What many other Protoss have tried and failed to do. But he figured out the way. Wow. What an attack from Mana. Even with his probe getting hit. Not able to put down the proxy gateway for the fast warpins. But damn. We're going to get into game number 3. We're all tied up. It's mind-boggling to me that Mana just broke MaxPax. I was like, I don't know how MaxPax is going to get out of this, but I assumed he was. because that's what I've seen happen so many times before. But no, not today. Today, he was broken. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Golden Aura, it is System Gaming's MaxPax. And his opponent in the lower right for Team Liquid, Mana. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to keep harping on it too much, but I just cast like a best of 3 with him recently, where I think it was Hearthstone tried to break him 2 games in a row, and cast a best of 5 between MaxPax and Christiana not too long ago. Christiana tried to break him a couple times, and MaxPax is so good at that. He's so good at expanding and holding the pressure that it is genuinely a shock to see him get taken down like that. I've seen him lose plenty of PvPs, but I feel like it's usually kind of a more straightforward thing, right? You get into a macro game, and then, you know, things can happen in a macro game over time. But MaxPax is so strong in the early game. It feels like folly to try to cheese him out. But as I say that, Mana's going for it again. He's got a proxy gate. This time that gateway is down. And back at home, he's making it look like this is just going to be an expand build. Now, MaxPax scouted, and he didn't see a pylon in here, but he didn't scout the whole base. There could easily be one behind the mineral line. It looks like he's checking for it again. He sees double gas, but no pylon. I mean, double gas isn't, again, it's not weird. That's what MaxPax is doing back at home. MaxPax is going to drop the Stargate. His Nexus is still being blocked. I like that Mana is going for the Nexus block here, because this makes it feel like Mana wants to take his own Nexus, and he's trying to stop MaxPax from taking one. Zealot checking if there's a proxy, but hasn't spotted this one yet. Mana's pylon is going to be canceled here. The probe does go down as the Adept is out. Oh, and it looks like the Adept is going to get the Scout. The MaxPax now knows what he's up against. At least has some ideas. Another gateway goes down back at home. 2 more go down back at home. This, my friends, this is a 4-gate. This is a 4-gate out of Mana. A build I've not seen in 100 years. It's not really true. It does pop around every now and then. But this is one of the first builds I ever learned with Protoss in 2011. It's just such a classic build. Oh, the Stalker's just going to go for the shield battery. They're going to get the shield battery. Now with more Stalkers showing up, this is starting to be a problem for MaxPax. He's going to drop a shield battery up on the high ground, but the late scout on that gateway means he wasn't really sure what he was up against. He does have a Void Ray on the way out, and the Oracle's going to dive in. Now, this Oracle can shoot through the probes very slowly. It doesn't have a ton of energy, so it probably will only get a few. Mana seems to not care. He's just going to try to take this pylon down. Ooh, and he will get the pylon, depowering the gateway midway through turning into a warp gate. Look at that. That's kind of cool, actually. Which means there's no gateway units coming out of here for MaxPax until that pylon gets back up. There's no high ground vision here for Mana, so getting on top of that Void Ray is very difficult, but MaxPax is forced to tap out anyways, because with no shield battery here, there is no chance of holding with that Void Ray. It needs shield battery protection, and it didn't have any support on the ground except for some probes, and Mana breaks him 2 games in a row. Insane. Mana. Could he do the impossible here? Could he take down the favorite player? I mean, I think we also have Beyond in this bracket, and Spirit, and I think those are 2 players that could very easily be considered contenders for the win here, but Nightmare already got knocked out, and I feel like MaxPax is the favorite to win. But Mana wants to knock him down. Now, granted, this is the upper bracket. MaxPax would just be knocked down to the lower bracket to face DNS. That's where the loser of this match is headed. but that's still would be big. And we're going to head in to game number 4. See if he can close it out, or, you know, maybe there'll be a game 5. I do kind of wish I was standing, though. My back has been a little sore lately. Would have been nice to go for the standing desk. Let's get in to Ghost River. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner, we have Psystorm Gaming's MaxPax, who is now on the verge of being knocked to that lower bracket by his opponent in the upper right, Team Liquid's Mana, who I see is sending out a nice, cheeky early probe. He wants to keep the momentum going. See, I told you guys at the start of this series, Mana, he can surprise you. He does things in a particularly unorthodox way sometimes that I feel like very good at surprising his opponent. Look at him dodge the probe and then send this probe at the perfect timing so MaxPax thinks nothing of it. Because this, my friends, is a cannon rush. That's right. Now MaxPax, he's going to have vision of this first pylon. Probe diving up into the main base. Oh, he's going to wall it off. Only one probe for MaxPax gets out. Plus, he does have that scouting probe on the other side of the map. Mana is dropping a second pylon in the main. Cancels that pylon. Okay. But he's going to block this cannon in. Only one probe can hit it. No Zealot on the way for MaxPax, which I feel like might be a bit of a mistake here. This probe is very low. It can only tank 2 hits. Oh, it goes down. Okay, no high ground cannons until this one is able to kill the pylon. But again, with no Zealot, MaxPax, he needed that Zealot. I feel like the Zealot, if this Zealot was out right now, I don't know. I think MaxPax is doing a little bit better. Mana should be able to take this pylon out, though. MaxPax has a backup one on the way. But that means that Mana can get in and start putting down cannons in the main. MaxPax, in the meantime, has a pylon on the other side of the map, but what is that even going to be for? He's got cannons in his main base. Oh my god, the Zealot's getting hit. He is going to force a cancel on this one. Actually, straight up gets the kill. Starting to be a real problem for MaxPax. Oh my god, and on the other side of the map, Mana's probe found MaxPax's probe, found this proxy pylon. There's a Stalker out now. He's going to try to get this probe. He is going to get the probe, and he's got a shield battery up. Second shield battery pops up as well. There's only one cannon on the high ground. Stalker is currently working on it. Probes are getting hit. Finally, one does go down. Ooh, I feel like MaxPax or Mana might want to just focus on the Cyber Core. MaxPax drops the Stargate. I thought this was looking much better for Mana. Oh, he is going to get a Stalker, though, as MaxPax runs out of shield battery energy. He doesn't have an overcharge available. But this cannon is not that much of a threat. It can't hit anything right now. It can't hit the Cyber Core. Bunch of probes coming out here to try to kill this Stargate. This is a bold move, because if that Oracle pops, it's just going to have a ton of probes to kill. Oh, Mana's got a Zealot as well. He sent the Zealot back home. I think with the Zealot, he gets through this. And I don't think that Oracle gets out. Mana's Stalker escapes with its life, as it looks like it went up for some high ground vision. But Stargate goes down. Mana got a Cyber Core at home, but his gateway is, of course, on the other side of the map. Another Stalker pops out. Does he not have high ground vision of this Cyber Core? I feel like he should try to hit this Cyber Core from the low ground. Yeah, that might be the play here. He is going to lose this pylon very shortly. Shield Battery's trying to keep this Cyber Core alive, and they will for at least a while. That is draining a lot of Shield Battery energy, though. The Zealot comes back up. Shield Battery overcharge is turned on. Mana's going to have to back up. And give MaxPax some time where he can just hit this cannon for free. Cyber Core also healed back up to full shields. So that is not as much of a threat anymore. Probe's coming off the line, though. Mana's continuing this aggression. There's an Immortal on the way for MaxPax, though. The 4 shield batteries regen fairly quickly. Oh, my God. But the Artosis pylon goes down. I didn't even see it. MaxPax, nothing is powered right now. The pylon, it's trying to come back online. I don't even know if that's going to power Warp Gate, though. It's not. Oh, my God. It is going to be able to get this Immortal out, but that pylon going down is huge. Probe staying alive. The shield batteries are all up and running, and that, I think, is the really important thing here. Is it going to be another overcharge available right now? He just used it on a Chrono Boost, though, which I think is probably a good idea, but means there's no shield battery overcharge available. 12 probes have fallen. So Mana is just ahead 10 workers right now, even as he gets shoved out. And I think this Immortal is going to close out the Cannon Rush. That Artosis, that was the most Artosis pylon I've ever seen in my entire life. And I got to say, I think this Cannon Rush was successful. I think it was successful. Let's take a look at the resources lost. Even with this gateway going down, it's still going to be in favor of Mana. So that is what we call a successful Cannon Rush, stopping the Stargate from coming up on the other side of the map. It's actually going to kill both these pylons as well. And killing 15 probes, I think, is absolutely massive. Obviously gives him a good economic lead. And he's got a Stargate behind this. He's got a Nexus up earlier behind this. We are going to head into a macro game now, where a lot of those early game trades are not likely to make as much of a difference, especially since we have Stargate against Robo, which I feel like is going to make it is going to be a little bit weird moving forward. Neither player is heading towards Blink right now, which is where you expect to be in a macro PvP. So we'll get into kind of a weird game, but I think Mana's just going to have kind of a solid lead here. Ahead workers, earlier Nexus. The Phoenix and Void Rays obviously going to make Immortal drops not really tenable, which I think MaxPax realized, which is why he pulled back. But he got to scout the Nexus, so he knows what he's up against. That Observer just barely escaping. I think it will probably fall here if Mana can cut it off at the pass. Can he get it? Maybe not. This is actually insane. Look at this. Look at this planning. Wild. Mana dropping a couple gateways. He's trying to start up an Immortal, but he's a little supply blocked at the moment. He's heading across the map. This is maybe a little bit surprising, but as I say that, where are MaxPax's up-shooty units? He's got a few of them in the main base. There are 2 Void Rays here. That's pretty substantial. MaxPax is going to need some more Stalkers. He's warping in a couple on the low ground. Void Ray's going to come in. They're going to try to pop a pylon. Ooh, can they also grab a Stalker? They can. Nice pickup there by the Phoenix. And yeah, Mana just finding a little bit of damage. I think MaxPax has enough to defend. But again, Mana with a slight lead, for sure. He's just trying to further that lead. 4 Stalkers dive into the natural. They are going to grab a couple of probes. And oh no, this Prism! What happened to this Prism? It's in the wrong spot, and it's going to go down. Oh, it's a fantastic pickup for Mana, who's also picked off a couple of probes in the main base. 2 Phoenixes and 2 Void Rays. You wouldn't think that's the hit squad, but it's pretty good. There's a shield battery here for the Stalkers, so the Void Rays are not going to be able to win that fight. In fact, one of them does fall. Mana, though, he's keeping the pressure on. He's got an Immortal on the low ground now. But behind this, he's taking a third base. So this is it feels very similar to what we saw in game number 1, right? Mana is now in MaxPax's position where he was kind of containing on 2 bases. But MaxPax is about to have Blink. Ooh, Blink is about to finish. He's not going to be able to catch those Stalkers quite yet. Mana going to try to hold the high ground here. Prism, second Prism is out. There are 2 Immortals here for Mana, though. But Mana doesn't have Blink. It looks like he recalled the Phoenixes back home. He's going to lift up the Immortal. And this is feeling like a very nice hold right now for Mana. He's going to lose one of the Phoenixes. Doesn't quite get the kill on the Immortal. But the longer he holds, the better position he's in. His Twilight Council, or actually that's Max Mix, sorry. Mana's Twilight Council is also done, and he's got charge nearly done here. If he can get out a handful of charge lots, Max is going to have a very tough time fighting against this, and I guess he recognizes that. He decides his best chance is to take a third base. But I think Max is in a very tough spot right now. Mana has a bigger army. His +1 is done because he had the Forge. I mean, if you got the Forge from the Cannon Rush, then you might as well get a quick +1, right? And he's about to have charge finished up. He's got more Zealots warping in. And again, I love that Mana is not all in committing to attacking. I see that so often in PvP, particularly against Max Packs, where players will feel like, okay, I need to send absolutely everything. I'm going completely all in. Mana's he's not falling for that. He knows he's ahead. He wants to put pressure on. Maybe he can get some damage done here, but he's not committing to just that. But it's enough anyways, and Mana gets the 3-1 victory over Max Packs with early game pressure. I think Max Packs is usually so insanely adept at dealing with, and then closes it out in game 3 with a Cannon Rush into a win. 2024, ladies and gentlemen, and Mana is still winning with Cannon Rushes, and that is why we love StarCraft. That is beautiful. It's a beautiful game. Ah,